I mean, wow. This documentary is just fucking weird in the best way, but wow. So REN FAIRE is what it's called. It is about the biggest Renaissance if you're American, Renaissance festival in America. It's in Texas, and it was created. It is the brainchild of King George Coulam, that old guy in the doco in the trailer. And George has a plan, and his plan is that at some point in the very near future he's going to die. Fine. If you heard in that trailer, you heard how he would ideally want to die. Good on you, old man. And across the 3 episodes, what we see is the extensive kind of setup that this Renaissance fair has. And it is big, like to the point where he essentially is the mayor of a town in Texas that he has bought a couple of 100 acres to create this Renaissance festival. And people come from across the country, of course, cosplaying, dressed up, having the amazing Renaissance festival time that you would expect at this kind of thing. But it is big business. It is big business. And so consequently, with George going to shuffle off his mortal coil, who takes over? And we meet the players. We meet Jeffrey Baldwin, the man who started as his entertainer, became entertainment director, is now the general manager. We meet Louie, who is, as they say, the king of corn, lord of the corn. And he is basically a vendor who wants to buy the festival from George before he dies, whereas Jeffrey hopes that he inherits it ostensibly. And then there's Darla, who's spinning around on the side. They all want this festival. They all want to be the new king. Long live the king. The king isn't dead yet. In fact, the king is weird, man. The king has some weird ideas. And across the 3 episodes, we get to hear all about not only George's plan and how he would like things to function, but of course, the 3 jockeying for position. And it doesn't go well. It just doesn't go well. And I reckon you have to watch it to believe it. It is 3 one-hour episodes, all of them on Binge right now. And it is incredible. Like, here we go. It follows an epic power struggle at the Texas Renaissance Festival after its founder announces his retirement. The festival's general manager, Jeffrey, and heir apparent faces off against the kettle corn kingpin, that's Louie, and former elephant trainer, Darla, who are all vying to reshape the festival in their own vision. Now, it's directed and produced by a documentary guy called Lance Oppenheim, who's been making these things for some time. He has quite the IMDb list. And in and of itself, you think it's weird. And look, there's parts that clearly they have filmed especially for the doco. So it's not your traditional, like, let's just watch and be an innocent bystander version of this. There are parts where they've gone, right, we want you to act like this for us. We want you to give us this footage so that we can cut it into the storytelling. I mean, and even throw into there's a character dressed as a dragon that is like a figment of Jeff's imagination that talks to him sometimes. I mean, it's that level of weird. But then it intercuts with like documentary conversation with the main players talking to the documentarian. So we get to hear their answers and responses and stuff, as much as, some of these intercut scenes, which are just stares and faces, stuff that you don't get in passing. They have to be set shots. And that's what makes it weird, to the point where I had to do some research and go, I did some research. Is this real? Like, is this just not a setup? The Texas Renaissance Fair is real, and it is absolutely George Coulam's baby. It's his thing. As for the rest of them, I cannot guarantee, other than what is purported to be in the documentary, as to who they are. But then I dug a little bit deeper and saw that one of the executive producers is a guy called Benny Safdie. Now, he's been in a few things, not least of all, recently he's been in Oppenheimer and a few other decent films. But he also co-created and starred in The Curse with Nathan Fielder. Now, that was just another weird Nathan Fielder, doco thing that he a Nathan joint that he did that came out at the start of this year. And like, I came away from that going, it just felt weird. Benny is the documentarian in that. But he's an executive producer in this. And for mine, I think you can see his fingertips all over this. Whether it is semi-factual, whether it is entirely scripted and made up and we're all being taken for a ride and called a documentary, whether it's a mockumentary, It is 3 hours of deeply entertaining weirdness. I cannot recommend it highly enough to you. It's a big win for me. REN FAIRE. All 3 eps are available right now on Binge and Foxtel On Demand, and it is a very easy watch. Yeah, if you've got a Saturday afternoon to kill and you want to watch something interesting and weird, watch this. Let me know what you think because it is weird.